Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar, run for the UKV, have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days, as it does look like it is going to continue to be very warm and very dry for much of the rest of this working week, even into the weekend. Temperatures into the mid-20s, and as we saw in yesterday's video, it is a technical Indian summer. However, we are seeing perhaps a few changes coming on Friday, maybe into the weekend as well in southern areas, as there is an increase of thunderstorm activity, and that is because we do see a small trough heading up from the south. Now, because it is a relatively small trough, it is very uncertain about its positioning and its intensity, so we'll have to wait and see until nearer the time. But the latest UKV does have quite a bit of activity for parts of England and Wales through Friday, continuing into the weekend, so it could be pretty lively in some areas. As we progress into the longer range though, we do continue to see a generally warmer and drier picture apart from that trough through Friday and Saturday for much of the weekend into the start of next week. But then we could see a change into the final for a few days of September. Not just a change in a couple of areas, but a change for all, as we do see perhaps the Atlantic getting unlocked and seeing much cooler and unsettled conditions returning. Again, wouldn't be ideal to end September, but that is looking like the option that most runs are showing at the moment. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, which do like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. Now, if you start on the live radar, you can see not too much going on. Of course, it is dry and it is warm, and it's going to stay like this for the next 3 days until we see a few thunderstorms perhaps on Friday. Now, recording this around 10 PM in the evening, so you'll be able to see that it's not particularly warm, but it's not particularly cold either. Lots of yellows around, and that is very mild for mid to late September. So yeah, very pleasant outdoors. And yes, it doesn't feel amazing everywhere. It's not high 20s or anything, but it is very pleasant. And considering what we can see this time of year, and this is almost 10 out of 10 weather, if we're being completely honest. Now, if you go over to the latest UKV now, and have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days, you can see very little activity over the next few days, and that's why I'm going to skip through it quite quickly. Nothing going on Wednesday, nothing going on Thursday. It's really into Friday. We see a little bit of rain in developing through the afternoon in the form of heavy thundery showers, mainly across southern and eastern England, transferring further westwards through the afternoon as parts of Wales for petering out into the evening. Really isolated pop-up storms with a bit of instability, with that heat around, so those storms could break out. Again, massive uncertainty over the intensity and widespread nature of these storms, but you can see it definitely looks like there could be a few intense ones in there breaking out. As we head into Saturday, a bit of activity overnight, but nothing too major. And then as we head into the afternoon, again, another outbreak of storms, perhaps slightly further westwards, more across Wales, maybe western parts of England as well. Through Saturday afternoon, again, could be lively. And then as we head into Sunday, could see some more extensive rain across the far southwest. Elsewhere, though, remaining dry. So yeah, it is going to be very interesting to watch Friday, Saturday, Sunday, as some areas in the south could see quite a lot of rain. You go sort of Midlands northwards, it is going to remain very warm and very dry. So yes, the overall picture is for a continuation of the pattern we got right now. Just for southern areas, we could see a bit of a change to something slightly wetter and thundery. And I said the reason for this is this trough developing to our south. You can see it here. It's not a particularly deep area of low pressure, but relative to the pressure we have at the moment, it is slightly lower, and it just allows those storms to break out. And unfortunately, could cause quite a bit of activity through the weekend. If we do look at the upper air temperatures, you can see it is very warm for the rest of this week. Upper air temperatures widely towards the double digits, cooling off a little bit into the weekend, but still remaining very warm in most areas. If we look at the max temperatures as we head through Wednesday afternoon, temperatures peaking around the 23 or 24 degree range. Very pleasant indeed, up and down the British Isles. As we head into Thursday, temperatures even warmer, 24, 25, wouldn't even rule out a 26, maybe even around to 27. Very pleasant indeed. And then as we progress into Friday, again we're looking at 20 to 22, slightly cooler because of those storms in the south, but again could be slightly warmer if those storms don't occur or aren't as widespread as we initially anticipate. As we head into Saturday, temperatures climb, especially to the east of those storms. Those storms based further westwards, areas across northern England, eastern England, 24, 25, maybe 26 once again. And then into Sunday, to the north of that rain in the southwest, again could see 23, 24. So you can see through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yes, deteriorating conditions in places, but where we avoid those heavy, severe thunderstorms, then we could see temperatures remaining very warm and conditions remaining very dry. So yes, warm and dry for all for Wednesday and Thursday. For Friday, still warm and dry for most apart from southern England and for parts of Wales. And then Saturday again, apart from Wales, southwest England. And then for Sunday, apart from those southern and western regions with some more persistent rain. So yeah, still pretty present for the rest of the week. Just those caveats now coming into play through Friday and the weekend. Now, if you look at the longer range prospects, you can see high pressure in control at the moment. That's why it's so warm and dry. That trough nudging up from the south there for Friday and for the weekend, that giving those thunderstorms in places. Eventually, we see the pressure rising again. Not a dominant area of high pressure, so perhaps more cloud and a few more showers. But again, still fairly dry through to the middle of next week. And then we start seeing the Atlantic unlock with a westerly flow. Lots of low pressure systems coming in off the Atlantic. Not a complete westerly flow because we have got a blocking area of high pressure towards Greenland. This would cause huge interest if we're in the winter, as this could force a very cold pattern. But being early October, can't do too much. If we do look at the pressure, you can see the isobars are pointing straight from the north. Bitterly cold air would be heading our way. Big northerly plunge. Again, would be very cold, lots of frost, maybe even some wintry showers if this did come off. And you can see it further on the temperature deviation. Big cold pool heading our way. Again, we'll have to wait and see as it doesn't actually fully get towards us at this stage, but definitely on its way. And yeah, could start October incredibly cold indeed. Now, I said, not got massive support for this sort of pattern. A general unlock, general westerly flow pattern is what we're seeing. It's just how it goes about that. It is where we've still got some discrepancies, as you can see here with the big Greenland high, with other runs of low pressure right over Greenland. So all runs kind of showing an unlock, that high not over the top of us anymore, but it's where the high pressure goes and where does the jet stream go. That's still up for debate. If you do look at the latest GEM, again, high pressure dominating at the moment. That little cut-off low or trough nudging up from the south. Eventually pressure rises slightly into early next week. And then we do see a westerly flow unlock. Still pressure, but high pressure, but it's more towards northeast Canada, meaning it is still cool north to northwesterly flows, but low pressure is still coming off the Atlantic, so it's not quite as cold. And you can see here just a classic North Atlantic low, cold air on the northern and western edge, mild air on the southern and eastern edge. And yeah, just looking very unsettled, lots of heavy rain, and also strong winds associated with it as well. A classic North Atlantic depression. Not great at all, but as I said, is expected when we see an unlock of the Atlantic. If you finish by looking at the latest ECMWF, high pressure in control at the moment, that trough heading up from the south, high pressure returning slightly into early next week, but not really dominating all too much. And then eventually lots of low pressure, and again a bit of a block towards Greenland, meaning low pressure is in control. And again, with a northerly flow, so it would be quite cold, as cold if not colder than the GFS with that direct northerly. So yeah, very interesting indeed. All runs going unsettled in the longer range towards that daytime period and beyond. Most of them showing a colder low pressure pattern with northerly or northwesterly flows being forced in. Again, it's one of those we'll have to wait and see exactly how it does play out, but for the time being, yeah, enjoy the next few days as it looks like it could deteriorate as we head into next week. And if you look at the ensembles, we can see this well reflected. Warm and dry over the next few days. Precipitation picking up, especially for London, and later this week, especially into the weekend, with precipitation spikes appearing mostly from those thunderstorms and persistent rain, perhaps into Sunday. And then the upper air temperatures drop off more towards average next week, maybe even below average, and precipitation picks up quite a bit. So it does look reasonably unsettled and relatively chilly as we do progress into the final few days of September, unfortunately, and to start October. And then just finally to cross-examine to the GFS ensembles. The Eastern DOF ensembles. Unfortunately, the midday run hasn't fully come out yet. But you can see it is broadly very, very similar. Precipitation returning this weekend, but remaining warm, turning fresher as we head into the last few days of September and early October, and precipitation picking up. So it definitely looks like a proper Atlantic pattern with northwesterly winds could be arriving to end September and start October. So yeah, still warm, still summery for the time being, not going to be like that for too much longer. We can see the end in the horizon, and it looks likely to be perhaps early to mid next week. So maybe still 5 to 7 days in places of these warm, dry conditions. But again, we'll have to wait and see how it does play out. As I said, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.